Glad you can join me for this week's YouTube video, and this one is a life free of judgment. So with my background as an intuitive life coach and healer for many years now, self-work, working on oneself, freeing myself of any limitations is a lifelong commitment. And I was asked the other day, what was one of the most freeing things I've done for myself? What actually has made a tremendous difference in my own inner landscapes, my own thoughts about me and about my life, and what have I done? What tools have I used myself that's really made a massive difference? And there's a variety of those for sure, definitely. But one of the biggest ones is every year I take a concept or a word, if you like. Let's say a word. I take a word and I actually focus on that for the whole year. And one of the ones I did once was a life without judging. So during that year, I was focused on my thoughts about self-judging, and judging others, judging things, judgment per se, just right across the board. And it was one of the most freeing things I've ever done. The benefits are absolutely extraordinary on the freedom scale. And so I thought we'd have a few minutes chat about that today, because I've kept it up. So my mind still comes up with judgments, and I notice it faster, easier, and I'm able to change it. There's a great video I've done previously called Game of Opposites. That is another life changer. Absolutely. If you get stuck with decisions, if you get any sort of anxiety whatsoever in any state, whether it's the good sort or the bad sort, whatever your judgment on that is, the Game of Opposites is absolutely fantastic at enabling you through such times. And I would advise, if you're having a look at that you go through it with me. I always do these videos as if you're in the room with me, and practice it when you're in a kind of a non-major anxious state, so that when you do get into any fear, any judgment, any place of choosing, anything like that, you're very enabled to access that particular wonderful again freeing tool into a place of choice, which is a dynamic difference in life. It's just extraordinary. So Game of Opposites would be a good one to have a look at. But yeah, judgment, let's have a look at that. So do you judge yourself? Do you ever judge yourself? Judgment is a constant thing that we actually learn. As a baby, we're not judging anything, are we? We're free and easy. We don't mind who looks at us. We don't mind being completely naked and seen by the world, by the many. And we're doing all sorts of different stuff. So that's the way we're born. We're born to be seen and to explore unknown territories. And as a baby, everything's unknown, isn't it? As a newborn. So this is a return to that. It's a return to the freedom of exploration of life, of adventure, without the fear of judging oneself or being judged. I mean, judgment's in all sorts of things, How do I look today? Does this dress suit me? Do these trousers, make my bum look too big, too small, or whatever it happens to be? Men and women. I've had lots of men say that to me too. It's not just the women's realm. It's like, if I ask that person to go out with me, I'm judging their response already, because already I'm frightened of what that response is going to be. Judgment is often associated with fear. You know, it really is tied into the fear of disappointment, the fear of rejection, the fear of being humiliated. So, you know, how are you judging yourself? Maybe just for today, you could try it. You could try just monitoring how much you judge yourself. You know, oh, you know, I'm judging myself harshly here because I didn't do as well there as I wanted to be, wanted to do or be or say. Oh, those words were really not the best I could be. Oh, this, that, and the other. You know, oh, that cake didn't come out exactly the way I wanted, and I'm no good at that, and this and that and the other. Sometimes we have a running story. You know, every single human being has a story, and all stories are completely unique because we're the only ones that have ever lived that particular story. And so the events that we have and how we react to life actually form the stories. And the beautiful thing about taking a word, a behavior, and loving yourself throughout a period of time, whether that's a day, a year, or a lifetime, in order to replace it with something better, is an extraordinary way to freedom. So that's my invitation for you today, really, is to join into monitoring really how much you're judging, but not just monitoring it. The reason you're monitoring it is to change it so that you can get the benefit. And the biggest benefit of non-judgment often is peace. It's more love, and it's definitely freedom. So if you want more peace, more love, more freedom, have a go at not judging yourself. And if you need some help, as I say, with that, just go to the game of opposites, because that's a great way of like, oh, I'm judging myself. What else can I do instead? That'll provide you from your own psyche, from your own subconscious, different behaviors and ways of actually approaching this. So this video goes very well with that one. And then you might also want to notice how much you're judging others. You know, have you been in that situation where you've found yourself gossiping about another person, and by, you know, judging them and finding them lacking in a certain area, it's made you feel better about your life? You know, that's quite an exchange of energy going on there. That's where's the benefit in that? Why do you need to judge that harshly? What is there in you that needs more loving, that fills that void, so you could be different about viewing another's story? Because that's what it actually is. It's compassionate action for others. If you actually view each person that you meet, well, it's not about, you don't have to like everybody or love everybody or condone the actions that people are having or agree with them or join in them or adopt those actions. But to recognize, this is one of the tools I use for myself, if I found myself judging a politician, say, or certain people in power who were making certain decisions, it'd be like, well, you know, I'm not in their shoes. I haven't got all the information to hand that they have. I'm not that person who's travelled their life and influenced by their suffering and their joys. So how am I really to know? So it removes the need in lots of ways to judge another by that understanding and taking ourselves into the compassionate action response when we find ourselves judging another. So some of the lighter ways of judgment is just like, oh, you know, you could be judging people just by looking at them and thinking, oh, they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do the other. I heard somebody the other day saying, oh, they need to shape up and get on with it. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe they do, but in that judgment call, we're not really seeing or being available and open-hearted and compassionate enough to go, what's really going on in their world today? what's really going on in their world today. I think I was forever changed by a Stephen Covey story once, where he talked about a man being on a platform waiting for a train. And it was a quiet Sunday morning, and there were a few other people on different platforms. And then arrived this man who came and sat quite near him on a bench nearby, and very rowdy, loud, screaming, wild children who were disturbing the peace. And this man said, I was disturbed by it, and I was thinking and judging, gosh, why, can't he control his children? Why aren't they better behaved? And went into judgment mode. And this man noticed this other man and said, I'm sorry the children are a bit wild, but their mother's just died. We've just come from the hospital and I've lost my wife. In that moment, with the full knowledge of their story, the man who was getting annoyed at the behaviour of the children through judgment lost his judgment and went into compassion for the reason he was given. What would the world be like if we allowed ourselves, just for a day, to go into compassionate action for other people that we meet, rather than judgment, without even having to know their reason for being that way or what their story is, by just acknowledging that everybody has a story that produces a certain behaviour? And is it our place to judge what that behaviour is driven from? What sort of life do we want to live? How much more peace do we want to experience? There's obviously situations where one needs to remove oneself from certain behaviour. There's obviously situations, wide and varied, where we need to take physical action, and our bodies are the best thing to do that with, is to remove ourselves or to move ourselves forward towards another, all sorts of different things. But I'm talking on a general basis, from day to day, with meeting with people, whether physically or virtual. What would it be if you could do a whole day where you honoured the story of another instead of judging? Because if you can find a place in your heart of compassionate action to honour another's story, it opens up a whole new compartment of your own heart to honour your own. Because your story is exceptionally important. Your story has made you the person you are today. And nothing in your extraordinary life has been wasted. All experiences are valuable, whether we judge them to be good or judge them to be bad or anything in between. What if actually they're just valuable experiences that have led you to be the person that you are today, enabling you to step into the magnificent being that you are, enabling you to understand that, yes, I do want to be different. I do want more love. I do want more ease. I do want in my life. And therefore, the heart is the gateway to allow more of that loving energy in, so you can access more life with ease. I'm so looking forward to the comments that I know you're going to join in with later. So do let me know what thoughts you have about this. Have you tried it for yourself yet? What sort of responses within are you getting? What difference is it making in your life? Have a go. I thoroughly recommend it. Lots of love, everybody. Bye for now.